another episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl, and this is Cappuccino Crafts, my little channel on YouTube, and my corner of the general interwebs where I like to talk about knitting and crochet and books and TV and movies and other life and chatty things that I want to share with you. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video and spend a little bit of your time with me. I really hope that you enjoy it. Please settle in, get yourself a delicious beverage, and let's have a lovely chat. Today, it's another Monday, again, April 19th, and more beautiful spring weather. It's been so nice this week. Really beautiful. And you'll see some of the blooming trees and some photos I took while I was out and about doing errands and things. And some are from around the house and in the neighborhood. Anyway, but yeah, spring is so beautiful, and yeah. So it's been a mixed week. There's been wonderful things, and there's been just like in the news, just such sadness and mess and frustration, and yeah, I'm still limiting myself to how much I watch of that, and not going fully into like doom watching. And but it's hard. The news is so hard, and and there's been now more mass shootings and all kinds of mess, and but then, I've been continuing to visit my parents, and we've been having a good time when we're together, and that's really great and a very happy change. So yeah, like up and down. And yeah. One thing on the really excellent side is that I did get my first dose of vaccine. I got the Moderna, and so after 4 weeks from that, I will get my second dose. But oh my goodness, I was so thrilled, and grateful and happy and everything. Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm thinking, anything else? I think that covers that part. Crafting, I'm still stuck. This is the deal. There was that really lovely sweater project that's still on pause because I'm short of yarn, and I need to figure out how to get some like matching or closely matching yarn. And I just haven't been searching very much because I've been doing other things. And so, yeah, I haven't been working hard on procuring that yarn. And also I haven't, like it would probably take me 20 minutes to finish that cute little KAL for around my neck. that I was working on, but I don't want to finish it because I can't choose a new project. I just can't. I don't know what I want to do, and there's been so many other things on my mind and other big decisions. My brain has not been able to look at that and spend time to think about it and make a decision about it. So, yeah. And so I'll figure it out eventually. I'm not worried about it. I'm just like, I guess it was time for a break, and reading has been filling the gap. As far as just like giving me a little mental break and mental engagement on other things to, help me feel better. And yeah, so as long as one of them is going well, it's fine. But yeah, that's where we are. So let's get to those books. I finished 3. Yeah, one of them was real quick. But I finished Black Sun, which I loved. I loved it. Do know if you are considering picking it up. It is the opening of a series, and it does not have any resolution at the end of this first book. It ends on one of the most abrupt and biggest cliffhangers I've ever read. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long wait until the second book comes out. Like, life and death, the characters' fates, everything is up for grabs. Who knows? Who knows? So just know what you're getting going in. And you may decide that you want to wait until the next book is about to be released. So that, because I know a lot of people like to binge read series. They don't like to have a wait between books. That's totally, I understand that. I totally understand that. And if that's how you are, then, yeah, that might be something you want to wait on. If it's a series you're interested in. And I don't have the book to hold up like I have been because the book is back at the library. And I also had to take Descender Volume 3 Singularities back to the library, so I read it real quick before it had to be returned. And Descender is basically like AI, androids, and robots versus humans scenario. Not humans, but biological, because there's a lot of different, it's in a galaxy. So there are different alien species, including humans. This volume, Volume 3, is a lot more character development. The present timeline doesn't progress a lot. But it does give, it's like a lot of flashbacks. Now there's always flashbacks in these, in the storytelling. That's always been a thing. But the flashbacks in this volume are the more important part. And it's a lot of character development, filling in backstory. And it was good. There's some good character reveals, some good character development, and things in the present are still looking pretty dire, which is normal for this series. The stakes are very, very high. I will definitely continue on. I'm not sure how many volumes there are right now, but I do definitely want to continue on in this comic book series. I also finished The Widow of Rose House, and it was a very uneven reading experience for me. It was like I expected, and it was described as like a gothic romantic story. There wasn't enough gothic. There was a haunted house, but there were only a few scenes like inside the haunted house. There wasn't a lot, and not enough atmosphere. Like, I read gothic for like all that atmosphere, and it just wasn't atmospheric that way. It is set in the past. It's set in like Victorian era, but in America, not in England. So I don't know if you can call that Victorian, but you know, the same like 1860s, 70s, but in America. And there was a little bit of, you know, old-timey, like, you know, 19th century atmosphere, but not in a gothic way. And even like the historical feel of it was uneven. Like the dialogue and the tone in some places was very kind of lighthearted and modern, which, you know, feels like more of like a fantasy romantic 19th century, you know. But then some of the themes, there were themes she definitely wanted to talk about and she put in the book, that were kind of really interesting themes and important themes, but they were more serious, like a past really abusive marriage and trauma from that, and also just overall in history talking about the lack of agency for women in that time period, and some of those difficulties. And those kind of themes, they were like introduced, but I felt like the more lighthearted dialogue and tone and in other places kind of undercut those themes, or just didn't, it felt like they were fighting each other and didn't quite come together. The balance wasn't quite right. And so it was very uneven. I felt like I wish I had loved this book. It had things in it that I wanted to love, but I couldn't love it. I just couldn't. It was too uneven. It left me a little disappointed. It's not a bad book. It's you know, the writing was fine, and there's definitely a story, and it is, you know, has some development. It just felt a little underbaked, and the characters were a little underbaked for me. Like there was a villain, a definite villain in the story, and he was just really like a mustache twirling, really like flat and simple villain, just like pure bad. And you know, he was bad, but it was just not dimensional, not interesting, just very flat. And the romantic hero, he was very like, he was kind of funny sometimes, and he was just very idealized as a hero. Like, there wasn't anything he couldn't do. Like, he was just like kind of perfect in every way for the most part, except for his naivete. And for an like, he was too naive. He was just not aware of a lot of things. And just like la 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 in his own little perfect world. And really, really. So that was The Widow of Rose House. Those were all the 3 that I finished. And I am still reading, and I think I'm really close to 50% through Caressed by Ice, which is the 3rd book in the Psy Changeling series by Nalini Singh. And I'm really, really liking it. I'm really, really liking it. There's a lot of suspense and tension, and the characters of the couple that are having their romance in this installment, their story is really interesting, and they're very interesting as characters. And it's, it's not easy for them to come together. The world building is continuing to expand, and I really like what we're learning. And the mystery part is really tense and good. And yeah, so I'm really happy with that. I started a book, and this is a NetGalley arc that I was really glad to get. I think it was from the Download Now or Read Now, or maybe I requested it. I can't remember, because it was a while ago. I just haven't gotten to it till now. But it is Yume by Sifton Tracy Anapare. And I'm like a quarter of the way now. And I'm enjoying it. It is set in Japan, and it's got a lot of like Japanese like folklore mythology in it, and it's like magical realism, fabulism, like a mix of the modern world and then the magical mythological Japanese world. And dreams, there's an aspect of dreams in it. One of the main characters is a English teacher in Japan. She and so yeah, and I loved that. I love reading about her teaching in Japan, because I was teaching English in Korea years ago. And so that her experiences in the description of being an expat teacher, it really feels real to me. And I'm loving that. And I like her character. And she is like a double outsider. She's an outsider because she's like not Japanese, but she's also like doubly outsider because she is, the character is a Black Canadian. so she is not a white foreigner, which is like double outsider. And so just like how that experience is for her is really interesting too. And then the gods and the dream world / like magical nighttime world of the gods is really like fantastical. It reminds me, I'm starting to get a feeling now that I'm a little ways into the book. If any of you who may be watching have seen the movie Spirited Away, it's a movie that I love and I've watched many, many times. And it's about a young girl who gets lost in like the magical world of the spirits in Japan, and has to find her way back and save her parents. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it, I hope that you do see it, because it is magical. It is wonderful. It is like so good. This is reminding me of like an adult version of that kind of story. Yeah, it's giving me that kind of atmosphere and vibe of a grown-up Spirited Away, which makes me happy. I'm really enjoying that atmosphere, and some of the like descriptions and the set pieces and the magical things described in the like nighttime world of the spirits is like, whoa, I wish I could see that. Like, well, in my mind I can kind of see it, but I'm like, wow, that would be that's such an amazing visual. I would love to like see a picture of that. It would be amazing to watch. Yeah. So, don't know where the story's going to go from here. We'll see how it develops, and if I continue to be enjoying it as much as I am now, but it's very promising. And yeah. So, those are the books. And I think I've talked about everything. I haven't watched another movie. I haven't been continuing any TV series. Although I did, for the first time, watch an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, the most recent season. It's been a long time since I watched Drag Race. It felt like I was watching it like seasons were even showing at the same time, like UK and All Stars or UK and regular, like we're showing at the same time. Felt like I was watching RuPaul nonstop, like spin-off after spin-off, season after season for a long time. I was watching it so much, and I think maybe I kind of just got a little oversaturated with it, and so I haven't been keeping up with anything new from Drag Race. But last night I was really in the mood, and I'm like, well, maybe I can catch up with some of the newer RuPaul things. So I found on my streaming service, I wanted to watch UK, but it was only available to buy. So I did watch the regular US. Newest season, I started the first episode and enjoyed it. And it starts off with a big twist. And I'm like, oh! So that was a fun opening to a new Drag Race series. And looking forward to watching some more. And yeah, I think I'm ready for a little more RuPaul back in my life. Yeah. Well, wherever you are, I hope that you are well. I hope if you're crafting, I hope that your crafting is just turning out like just the way you envision. I hope your reading is really interesting. I hope that you and your family and all of your loved ones are well and safe. And take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.